Resident Evil 9 just got a third trailer and everybody's talking about it, but today I'm going to be going over 15 things that more likely than not flew over most people's heads, so without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Right at the beginning of the trailer, you could hear a lady communicating with Leon, and this lady sounds extremely similar to how Sherry Birkin sounded in Resident Evil 6, a game where Sherry worked for the DSO, the same division of the US government that Leon works for. So could this be her talking to him? I think it's completely possible. And at first I thought it was Hunnigan, but after going back I realized it sounds nothing like any of Hunnigan's prior appearances throughout the entire series, and it clearly isn't the same lady who played her in the RE4 remake, so I don't think it could be Hunnigan. Next, you could hear the lady, who I'm assuming to be Sherry, telling Leon about how a police officer just went missing around the same area where the fifth body was found. But if you go back to the first Resident Evil 9 trailer, you could see at the very beginning Grace was typing up a report about a fourth body being found at an abandoned government office. So I think these two scenes are definitely tied together somehow, and I would keep that in mind going forward. This next scene here, some people love to over-speculate and some people like to gloss over it, but here, I'll set the record straight. As you could see here, our person is losing some teeth, which indicates that that could be a symptom of the new virus that we see in Resident Evil 9, or it could just be something that was done to him by somebody else or by himself. But I've also heard a lot of people speculating that this is Leon here, because you could see the very similar jacket and shirt, but as you could see with these two images side by side, Leon wears gloves, and this guy right here is not wearing gloves, so that is not Leon. Throughout the trailer, we hear our main villain, Victor Gideon, talking about Elpus, which is theorized to either be the new virus in this game or some kind of BOW. But thanks to my friend Logan over at Center for Evil, I know that Elpus in Greek mythology is the goddess of hope, or the last thing revealed in Pandora's box. So could this mean that Elpus happens to be the final boss of the game? Maybe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Before we go any further, if you guys could hit the like and subscribe buttons down below to help me reach 10,000 subscribers by the time Resident Evil 9 drops, it would be greatly appreciated. And now with all that being said, let's get back to the video. While looking through Victor's computer, they open up a tab which shows a chemical structure, which happens to be that of yohimbine, a chemical that primarily acts as an antagonist to adrenergic receptors and is also used in traditional medicine as a mild hallucinogen, and also has a wide list of other uses that I'll show on the screen right now. Later on, we find out that prior to on-screen events, Leon and Grace do not know each other, as when Leon saves her from the hag, he finds out that she's FBI and then proceeds to ask what she's doing there. A little bit later, this zombie appears to talk to Leon for a second before revving up his chainsaw and operating it how it's meant to be used in a horror game, showing that the zombies in Resident Evil 9 will at least be a little bit more intelligent than ones you'd run across in a Resident Evil 2 remake, for example. And while they'll still probably not be as smart as RE4's Ganados, they'll at least have some level of intelligence and understanding of what they're doing. Then we get some snippets of action as we see Leon taking out hordes of zombies with his melee moves, but it appears to be more of an interactive melee like a Resident Evil 4 or 5, rather than an all-in beat-em-up style melee that you get in a Resident Evil 6 or Revelations 2. During the later half of the trailer, there's a split-second moment where you could see these images of a pair of partially infected hands and a partially infected face. Perhaps these images were taken to document the progress of the infection before it fully takes over the body of the host. Or maybe, just maybe, it has something to do with Elpus. Throughout the 3.5-minute runtime of the trailer, we see multiple scenes of Leon driving, including this one of him shifting gears, which leads me to believe that we will be getting a driving section at some point in the game. And this actually leads me right into the next detail that you probably missed, because my friend Logan over at Center for Evil pointed out the fact that if you look at the numbers on Leon's license plate, they line up perfectly with the mainline entries in the series that Leon has appeared in, with him appearing in Resident Evil 2, 4, 6, and now Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Next up, we see Leon wielding a chainsaw, showcasing that you will be able to take weapons from enemies even if it is under certain circumstances only. While we don't know much about the main villain, Victor Gideon, they do explain throughout the trailer that he is a doctor with connections to Umbrella, and somehow he's rich enough to buy an entire hotel. I've seen a lot of people questioning why Grace Ashcroft, of all people, is the special chosen one for Victor Gideon's experiments. But just in case you didn't know, Grace is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, who was infected with the T virus in Raccoon City back in 1998. So just like Sherry Birkin, Jake Mueller, and Rosemary Winters, Grace Ashcroft probably inherited some kind of powers or antibodies from her mother being infected with the T virus and then healed, making her the prime target for anybody trying to experiment with the T virus. Throughout the trailer, we see Leon wielding a total of 4 weapons, with these being a magnum, a handgun, an axe, and a chainsaw, showcasing just a little bit of the weapons variety that the developers were telling us about a while back. But I'm sure there's more to come, and there will be a very wide variety of weapons for Leon throughout this game. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and watch this video I did with Rapid Crafter where we talk about Resident Evil characters returning to the series. And with all that being said, I'll see you all next time.